Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome everybody and nice to meet you all. And this is our fourth session of Write It Right. And I could see that there are some new faces here. We'll try to go through what we've done already. In the past three sessions, we talked about writing in general and how we can express our ideas in a written form. And we talked about different types of writing, including formal writing and informal writing. And we also talked about how thinking would affect the way you write. So we said that we are Middle Easterns, we are Arabs. We usually tend to give more introductions before the topic. So if you wanted to talk about, if you wanted to borrow money from somebody, you would give them a complete story in the beginning. So you would say, for example, you know what, I had a car accident and I need to pay my rent. And there were some troubles in my family and I wanted to pay the school fees. Then you will introduce the topic this way and then you would ask them. I think it's annoying because the noise is cutting, people coming and going. I'll try to stop this next time. Anyways, so you will give lots of introductions before you get to the point. In English, it's a different story. You just go from point A to point B in a straight line. So from point A to point B in a straight line, this would be the easiest way. So you would just say, hey, you know what, I needed some money. Would you be able to lend me some? This way, it's easier because you get to the point straightforward. You don't need to. Mr. Rida, do you mind if I make you a co-host here so you can admit um, whoever is coming late? Mr. Rida? Mr. Rida, could you hear me? Okay, Mr. Abdul Majid, would you be okay to be a co-host and admit whoever is coming late?
Yes, I'm here. I'm ready.
Okay, Mr. Abdul Majid, you will be the co-host now. Thanks, Mr. Abdul Majid. Okay, okay, back to our topic. So in English, you just think what you wanted to do and you communicate the message in a straight line from point A to point B. You don't need to give lots and lots of introductions. A line may be a good way of giving an introduction. So let's get to down to what we've done. We talked about how to write an essay before, and we talked about how to select the topic or understand the title, and this is important. How to brainstorm ideas. How can you create more ideas? Please, whoever is okay. Thank you. So we talked about how you can brainstorm ideas and create ideas, and we looked at three strategies for creating new ideas or generating new ideas. One of them is clustering or mind mapping. Another one is to list or put the ideas in a list. And another one, or the third type, was free writing, where you can just write everything that comes to your mind in a piece of paper, and then you can reorganize that in your second draft. We talked about how to write an outline. We'll go through this today together, and also writing the essay, which will be the focus of our coming classes. We will be moving from writing an essay and some errors or sentence fragments or sentence errors, just to make you guys more engaged in the lesson, because I don't want you to get only theories and theories and theories. I just want you to practice something, okay? So we talked about the types of outline, and we mentioned that there are two types. The first type, which is a simple outline, which includes only the titles of what should be included in each part of an essay or paragraph. Also, we talked about a detailed outline, and this includes all the ideas and details generated in the brainstorming stage. The detailed outline takes longer time to be created because you basically write every single piece. Now, let's take a look at a simple outline. So for a simple outline, you will only divide your essay into paragraphs. So paragraph one will be my introduction. My introduction should start with a hook, where it's a sentence that just hooks the reader in what we are writing about. And then we will give some background information. And then we will move to the thesis, which is the key, the main idea or the main statement in our writing. In the previous sessions, we have talked generally about how we can write a hook. Okay, so if you wanted to go back and check it out, you can do that, absolutely. um, I'll just go through some of your messages here because I see some. Okay, Huwaida. Okay, so my name is Muhammad, and I'm currently an instructor in the University of Manitoba English Language Center in Manitoba, Canada. I also work as an educational consultant with one of the companies in Quebec, and we are preparing programs for the government of Canada employees, those who speak French as a first language, and we are helping them out to learn English as a second language. So this is briefly what I've done in the past few years. Okay. Um, then we have what is the meaning of this phrase? Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff means you don't need to feel bad and think a lot about something that happened. Just take things easy. um okay, so Muhammad, you can leave, you can just pause yourself, go pray and come back. The name of the books you wanted, I can type the names of the books in the chat box in the Telegram group. And please, speaking about the Telegram, I just would like you to participate more and talk to me more in the Telegram group, because this will give me more ideas of what you actually wanted. Don't bother about. Okay, in the previous session, they are recorded, and there are links in the Telegram, and I'll be posting them, all of them today. Please give us a brief reminder about what the outline means. Here it is. So, okay, so let's continue. So again, this is the outline. This is a basic outline or a simple outline where you just write titles of what you're doing. Okay, in the body, paragraph one, you're writing a topic sentence, and then you're giving supporting sentences, and then you're concluding, or you're adding a concluding sentence, or a transitioning sentence. After that, you have body paragraph two, which is very similar to that. Body paragraph three, which is very similar to body paragraph one, and then you have a concluding or transitioning sentence as an option. Okay, then when we go to the last paragraph, which is a conclusion, you don't need to mention or state anything new here. You just summarize the main ideas and give your opinion, suggestions, or recommendations. That's basically it. We will talk about coherence and cohesion. We talked about this in the previous sessions, and we will be talking about that in the coming sessions as well. Um, Here is an example of a detailed outline. So in the introduction, I wrote a hook, which is a question here. How many times did you eat fast food in a week? Or do you eat fast food in a week? Then the background information here, fast food is a byproduct of modern life. I will be writing how this is a byproduct of modern life. And byproduct is something that usually comes with or happens with. Then in the thesis statement here, I mentioned, although fast food makes our life convenient, it has several negative effects. So that's basically it. So in this one, I just wrote, because although there is a lot of benefits for fast food, it makes it easy for us. You can grab a sandwich anywhere and you just eat right away. You don't need to wait for the time you cook and buy produce for that. So it still has several negative effects. Here, this thesis statement is a type of implied thesis statements. So I didn't mention what are the negative effects here. I just mentioned that there are some negative effects. And then in the body, I'll be, unpacking these. I'll be breaking these down into pieces and discussing each one of them. In body paragraph one here, we said that fast food negatively impacts health. Okay. And this is our topic sentence. And we explained here how in the supporting sentences, we explained how fast food negatively impacts our health. So junk food, which is high in calcium, could lead to increased headaches and migraines, though excuse me, junk food, which is high in carbs, can trigger outbreaks of acne and causes obesity. Also, in the concluding sentence, we mentioned that not only our physical well-being, but also our mental health could be impacted by junk food. Here is our physical well-being, and I explained it. Okay, this is only the outline. I'll be rewriting this in full sentences and paragraphs. And then I mentioned that there is another negative impact, which is on our mental health. Okay, then this will take us to body paragraph 2, which is the negative impacts of our mental health. And we explain it, and then we give a thesis concluding sentence for this paragraph. And then we go to the conclusion, which is physical and mental issues are byproducts of consuming fast food. I'm just summarizing the main ideas I mentioned in the paragraph. And then it's highly recommended that junk food is totally or avoided altogether. So here, I just suggested or gave a piece, a tip here just to avoid fast food. Okay, so this is a way of writing a detailed outline. The next stage will be our will be writing our first draft. So I'm taking these and changing them into full sentences and making sure that these sentences are connected with coordinating conjunctions or subordinating conjunctions based on what I need, and also making sure that the paragraphs are linked together with transitioning sentences. Then this will be my first draft. We will go back. Last time we talked about um, generally in writing an introduction, we talked about a hook. And today we'll be looking at how we write background information and how we can write a thesis statement. Okay, so okay, I could see that Haja shared something here. Speak up, please. I can hardly hear you. Okay, so is this a problem for everybody? Okay, Mohammed, is this, can you hear me? Can you hear me, everybody? If you can hear me well, just type yes. Not for everybody. Okay, all right. Okay, so let me try to fix it here. And let's do this. Okay. Okay. Um, what is a hook? Again, a hook is just an attention getter or a sentence that you write to attract the attention of the writer. Oh, sorry, of the reader. Okay. And it can be, there are different types. We will be talking about them later on. And after a hook, you give some kind of connection or background information, which links your hook to your thesis statement. So this is basically how we write an introduction. Hook, background information or connections, and then thesis statement. A hook is like a trailer of a movie. So you basically, what you do with a hook here is you just attract the attention of the reader. One or two sentences, they serve as we mentioned that already. So capture to capture the reader, and they are like a trailer. The types here, number one is a question. So you can ask a question. For example, how many people begin their morning every day by checking their cell phones? I am one of them. So this attracts the reader to continue reading the article or the essay or the piece. Also, you can mention an interesting observation. For example, here, European economists are not sleeping well these days. This should be a problem. And if you're interested in the EU, European Union, you would be uh, interested in reading more about that and exploring why economists are not sleeping well. It can be a unique scenario, and this is usually used for narratives if you wanted to write a story or yeah, to attract the readers to a piece of writing, which is usually a story. Here, traveling at more than 100 miles an hour, he feels as if he's not moving. He is engulfed in company silence. For a moment, it is as if he has entered another dimension. This can be also a topic. This can be also a hook about a topic of depression. Maybe somebody who's feeling depression, he doesn't feel his or her surroundings. Another type of hooks is a famous quote like "I have a dream," which is Martin Luther King. You can get something which is very very famous and use it to attract the reader, and then the reader would be willing to read more and understand more about that. It can be also surprising or shocking statistic. Here, the divorce rate in the United States is well over 50%. So more than 50% of people who get married in the United States get divorced. Also, it can be a definition from a dictionary. Like according to the Webster's dictionary, government is defined as, and then you mention what is meant by government. And this is used for giving information about what you wanted to talk about. So the topic here should be about the government. So today is the time when we talk about providing background information on our topic, and it's very important to give the context that will help the reader understand. So you started by giving the hook or asking a question, attracting the reader to the topic. Okay. Now you need to tell the reader what your topic is basically about. And this might involve providing background information or giving an overview of the important academic work. Maybe if you're writing an essay for a research paper or debate on the topic. And also it can explain difficult terms if you are writing a technical piece. So you might need to introduce what is independence, maybe, or globalization or colonization. So you would like to give more of more of background of colonization and when it started. Don't provide too much details because you will be explaining everything in detail in your body paragraph. Also, one or two sentences to link the hook is enough to link your hook to your thesis statement. If you guys have any question, I could see some questions here. Yes, sure, it's clear, clear. We can hear you so well. So the voice here is clear. Okay, so we will be discussing what is a thesis in a bit, Asma. Just hold on. Um, Now, once you finish your background information, which is usually one or two sentences that link the hook to the thesis statement, you go to the thesis statement. And the thesis statement is the most important statement in your essay. It actually tells the reader what the essay will be about. Take your time to craft it. Take your time to write it. You don't need to write it as quickly as possible. You can write it at the end, and sometimes writers tend to keep the thesis as the last piece. So the last piece of their essay is this would be their thesis statement because they already mentioned all the information they wanted, and now they can create the thesis at the end. The ideas in this thesis, all the ideas in the essay should be connected to your thesis statement, and this creates unity. So in my thesis statement, I mentioned although fast food makes our life convenient, it has negative impacts. Now, when I read the body paragraphs, I'll be looking at negative impacts on our bodies, in our mental health. So this is connected to our thesis. And then you could see that there is a unity, there is a cohesion between what you've mentioned in the beginning and what is in the body. The thesis statement also gives the reader insight into the topic. So, and this is what I do when I teach here, when I mark students' papers. I just go to the last part of their introduction and read what they wanted to say. So this is their thesis. This is what they wanted to say. If this is clear, I'm 100%, not 100% sure, like 50% sure that the rest or the remaining of the essay will be very connected because they they paved the road. They made a roadmap, and they told me that these are the specific things they will be writing about. So it gives the reader insight into the topic, as we mentioned. It lets the reader know what is this essay about. Without a thesis, the essay may lack an argument or focus or clarity or continuity. And this, imagine if I talk to you about fast food, and I started with this. I said that 100 million people died because of fast food, and then in the background information or connecting information here, I mentioned that those people died in different countries, including not only third world countries, but also first world countries, and this impacts all ages. And then I just stopped. Okay, now you can guess that this is about fast food statistics, or you guess that the topic or the essay will be about looking at different countries and how they deal with fast food. It will make me also wonder if the writer here will be writing about um, the impacts of fast food on life or on lifespan. Okay, so because there is no thesis statement, it's not clear. It is not visible what the writer will be talking about or writing about. Also, the thesis statement is usually found at the end of the introduction. We mentioned that already. It is planted early in the essay because it informs the reader again of the main important ideas that encompass the entire essay. If you read the thesis statement, you should be able to understand what the essay is about. The previous sessions, I will be sending them in the Telegram. Sure. Now, there are two main types of the thesis statement. Number one is explanatory or direct thesis statement. And this is used when you are writing an expository essay, which is a kind of an essay that you want to explain something here in this essay. So here, um, you just mention what are the types or what are the reasons or what you would be talking about, like the example we mentioned, that fast food has negative impacts on our life. So we'll be explaining that fast food has these impacts on our life. And another example here is the life of a typical college student is characterized by time spent studying, attending class, and socializing with peers. As a reader now, I understand that this essay will be about these three things: the time that a college student spend studying and attend classes and socializing with peers. It's very clear for me that this will be connected to this essay will be the roadmap, sorry, to what I'll be reading. The paper that follows should explain how students spend their time studying, attending classes, and socializing with peers. Uh, the type, the second type here is an argumentative essay. Oh, sorry, argumentative thesis, and this is used in argumentative essay. And this is something that you wanted to argue, and this is something that you wanted to tell people you should stop that. Okay, we should always think of how we deal with this problem. And in this thesis, you just mention what is the argument, and then you can mention the reasons why we should do that in the body paragraphs. Okay, so it's a kind of thesis statement that is used in argumentative essays, as we mentioned. It should be an idea that provokes opposition. So usually we like to use words like should, must, need to, because when I tell you you should do something, some people would say no, I shouldn't. So this provokes a kind of opposition or a claim that readers might choose to refute. So you might say, no, I don't think so. I don't think that we should take a year off after high school. So some people would say, yeah, it's kind of good because students are tired of high school studies. So if they can take a year just to relax, do some work and get some money so they can spend on their university education, this would be great. So you could see that there are two sides here. Here, this is an example here, which is high school graduates should be required to take a year off. to pursue community service projects before entering the college in order to increase their maturity and global awareness. Some people would say, this is nonsense. I wouldn't spend a year to help the community and, for no reason. Some people would say, yeah, this is very important because high school students might join the university for a year and then they drop it because you're not mature enough. So the paper that follows should present this argument and give evidence, okay, to support the claim that students should pursue community projects before entering the college. Um, okay, we don't have any other questions here. Now, how can we create a thesis? There is a way of creating a thesis, and this is called a working thesis. So a working thesis is exactly means it's an in progress thesis. You just start typing the beginning of your thesis, and throughout the writing process, you will be going back to you'll be revisiting your thesis to add more information to that. It should be a thesis that can help guide you as a writer through the composition of the essay. The simple way is you just say, I believe that. I believe that fast food should be avoided for these reasons. And you could see because I say I believe, it's more of um, argumentative thesis. Okay, but it's a kind of a way that help you craft it. Later on, you could remove I believe, and you will have your own thesis, which is a bit like a statement telling what you wanted to say in the essay. So here is an example. I believe that America's cultural identity can be defined by art, literature, and film. So if later on, if I decided that these are the three things I'll be writing about, I wrote about, which is art, literature, and film, I would just cross out I believe. So America's culture can be defined or is defined by these three things. If I wanted to change one of them, I can change it. If I wanted to add more, like more things that define the cultural identity of America, I can do that. It would be okay. So the best aspect of working here is that it can be revised, as we mentioned, at any time. You can be going back and checking it. I believe, for example, here we said, I believe that America's cultural identity can be defined by art, literature, music, and film. In the original one, we had only film, but we found that music could also be something that we can add. Now, I'd like you to do some activity with me. How I'd like you to create a thesis, and it would be a kind of a challenge here because you will have the topic, which is, for example, here, education is important to have. It's important to be educated, and these are the three things why we should be educated or why we should study. So it could be, for example, it could enable one to get a better paying job. It can make a person more interesting individual. Okay, if you are educated, you will know lots and lots of things about things, and people would be interested into befriending you. It makes a person more informed citizen, so it will make you aware of what is happening around you. So I'd like you to take 2 minutes and try to craft a thesis statement for that. And please type your thesis statement here in the chat box, and we can get to talk about these in a bit. I'll pause the recording now so I give you time to work on these. Omar, I believe that education is one of the things that is our life. All right, Omar. Could you include these three supporting points into your thesis? In my opinion, education is important for everyone. It raises their awareness of everything all around them. That's very good. But this is one point only, Hannah, I'm sorry. So this is only the point of being informed citizen. We wanted to add how to be interesting individual and how to be getting a well-paid or a better paying job. Education is an important process for the development of both individual and nations. That's very good one. and this is implied because you implied here that for individual this can be a good paying job. Please, could you please make sure that we are muted? And again, so for the individual here, good paying job, an interesting individual, and for
Sorry. And we can
unmute. Okay. Did I mute myself? Okay. Sorry about that. So again, it can be also about individuals only. Can we go to breakout rooms and collaborate? I would love to do that. You know, this is a very interesting idea. I wanted to do that, but we are 40 something people. Let's give it a shot. Okay, let's do these two together, and then I'll give you the breakout groups so you can guys go and check. Excuse me, no problem. Education is one of the most important foundations for the civilization of any country. That's very general, iPhone. I just wanted you to change your name. I need to know who is this iPhone for. So yeah, it's general. I wanted you to mention these in a specific or in an implied way. Talk about what? No, because you were unmuted, Mrs. River. I thought you wanted to say something. So extra education is the key behind getting well paid, being a central personage, being insightful in the society. That's very good. That's a very good one. I'd like to know who is extra personally. So education is one of the most important foundations for civilization of any country. That's very general. We're still talking about general things. We wanted to be more specific. Yes, mean education has everything to do with the development of the country in many aspects of life. I disagree with you, Yasmin, because we're not talking about anything about development of a country here. We're looking at getting a well-paid job. That's okay for me. If a country has people with good paying jobs, this will be okay. But if a country has interesting people, this wouldn't be helpful for the country in any ways. Maybe in building connections with other countries. Informed citizen, this will be for a country, but that's very good. I just wanted you to talk about the individual level as well. No sound. Huwaida, I will try my best. Could you hear me now? If you can hear me, just type, please. Education gets you respect. Zainab, that's right. We just wanted to be more specific at how this happens. Education is the light which can lead to the way of success in your life. Hala, this is very figurative. That's figurative. This can be used as a hook, but now we are going to specifics. Again, guys, thesis statement should be specific, should be clear what you wanted to say, what you wanted to explain. Muhammad, one of the major differences among developing and developed nations is the way of treating with education. That's right, but it's still, this is general. I want you to be specific, mentioning these supports, please. I believe that education is one of the essential things in our life as it makes communication easily, or as it makes us communicate easily with others and make our life easier. That's a good one, Hajar. Education is so important in our life, both in our society and for us as individuals. We can say that we can't deny the role of education. By education, education builds our societies and our character. Right. I don't like to use "we can't deny" because this is a cliche. Cliche means they are sentences that we memorize to write, and once you have this, readers would doubt your abilities to explain yourself. Don't use in this essay I will be talking about. Um, don't use there is no doubt that. Don't use that it is well known that. And these I know these are introductions that people memorize for for IELTS, but actually this is a double-edged weapon. It can be effective if you use it in a specific senses, but when you have it more often, this would be a kind of something that backfires. Education is the real engine for many blessings in our life, including money earned, information gained, and being a pivotal as you wish to your society. That's good. I think extra uh you missed one of these supports. If you can go back and check, I believe that education builds our society, because without education we cannot be developed countries. Yeah, this is still general Shema. Okay, for those who finished the first topic, I'd like you to go to the second topic and start working on it, which is bowling is a sport for everyone, and these are the reasons why we should have it. Education is the engine of our country. It makes the person communicate easier. This is one of them, Ilham. There are still two other reasons. If you want to achieve your goals in your life, you should first firstly learn and be well educated. That's still General Abdul Majid. Do you think that these are all our goals, to be interesting people, get a good paying job, and inform? Yeah, this can be some of the goals. It can be all of the goals for some people. It can be, some people might say, I don't care. I don't want to be interesting. I just wanted to get more money. Okay, you see what I mean? Huwaida, don't give me a fish. Just teach me how to catch a fish, and I will be thankful to you forever. That's a good hook. Again, there is a difference between a hook and a thesis statement. I think we're nervous somehow, as we have a limited time to write. Take your time, Hajar. We can do two only of these. I just want to give a chance for everyone to try. Learn. Uh, thanks, Abdul Majid. Learn, then remove the letter I. Learn, then remove the letter I. I don't get it, Muhammad. Mina, if you want to build human, you will interest his education. So you can say, I guess you meant to invest in his education. This can be a general one as well. Education is the one of the most important reasons for your success, getting a better job, being a better citizen that is beneficial to yourself and your country. That's a good one. I thought I wanted to know who you are. Okay, education really makes our life, yeah, easy, maybe. Seeking for better life, gaining money, and well-informed characters necessitates to be well educated, which means that education is the real tom of success. That's good. Uh, it's extra again. So can you make it easier for a reader, because this will take some time to process? If you can make it easier for the reader to absorb it, this would be great. Education opens minds and makes us open-minded people. That's good, Shaymat. We still need to talk about money. I believe that education is the major aspect of anyone to get a well-paid job, and makes you an informed one who makes anyone enjoy talking to. Yeah. What about money, Hannah? What about yeah? Oh, you got it here. Well paid makes you an informed person and interesting. That's good. You covered it all. We can't do without education if it is light in the dark. It is general, Zaki, and it doesn't. This can be a very good hook, actually. Education becomes one of the most important necessities nowadays, without which we cannot be aware and informed people. It protects us from, okay, ending up with a dead end job, okay, by making us specialists in different kinds of sciences, also help us to be good people, to be talked with, and other numerous benefits. Perfect. This is an explanation, Amani. Okay, so again, a thesis can be one or two sentences that condenses what you will be talking about in the body. Just write one sentence. I believe that education is important because then mention your reason. That's a very basic way. I believe that education is important because it helps an individual get a better paying job, be an interesting individual, and be an informed citizen. That's it. Very basic, very condensed. Then when we go to the body, we can break this down and give support and explain more and more about that. Letter L, remove the letter L, it becomes learn. Learn and earn. Yeah. Could you explain that more, Muhammad? Without education, we cannot understand our life. Yeah, that's general Russia. By education, get high position. By education, get high position. But take care of continuity at the end of the life, at the end of the breath. Maha, this is very general. If you wanted to make it more like specific and clearer, now we move to bowling. Bowling is such an amazing sport that could be played at any time, any age, and with only simple equipment. That's perfect. Any age, any time, simple equipment. That's perfect. Simple equipment or um, something that is uh, inexpensive would be more accurate here because simple is different from expensive. It can be simple, but it's still for golf, it's very expensive. Sports really makes our mental and physical health more enjoyable. The best and easiest is bowling. Huwaida, excuse me, that's a good one. I wanted to know why bowling. I like this emoticons here. How bowling is easy or it's for everybody. Okay, just try to focus on the reasons here. I make another try. Go ahead and make it. Sorry, I can't hear. Atif, I don't know. I can repeat what you missed, but I don't know which part. So I'll be going through the answers for now. And if you can hear me, please type you can now, or you can just send me a message. Education is one of the most important reasons for your success. Getting a better job, being a better citizen, that is beneficial to yourself and your country. That's a good one, Jihan. I believe that bowling is a sport for everyone, as it is only at it as it is only can be played at any time, but also it doesn't require expensive equipment. Perfect. What about old people? What about young people, Dina? You need to include them here. Okay, thanks, Miss Reda here. Please, could I know how I teach English for KG? It's hard to teach them while they are so young. iPhone, we can have a session for that. If you guys are interested, we can have sessions where we can talk about education and teaching techniques and strategies. If that's something that interests you. Okay. Sarah, you unmuted yourself. Would you like to say something? Okay, Mr. Atif, go ahead. I see you raised your hand. Mr. Atif, I can't hear you. If you can join with audio, this would be absolutely helpful. Okay, so bowling is an amazing sport as you can learn it easily. You can share your skills with others anytime, anywhere. Hajar, that's a good one. But does this include the supports here? We need to make sure that these points are included. Which book helped me? Okay, we can talk about this later. I'm sorry, iPhone. Okay,
I'm
education.
so I wrote it down and I can't see the screen, so I wrote it down on the chat immediately.
So you can't see the screen now, Hajar?
No, I can see it, but I write it down immediately, not in the paper, and transfer it to the chat.
That's okay. So do you want to share it now with us?
Hey, okay,
Okay, go ahead.
okay. I said bowling is an amazing sport as you can learn it easily. You can share your skills with others anytime, anywhere. Even you can build your own own sport. Uh, well, with without any expensive equipment.
That's a good one. You included
Mhm.
all of them. That's perfect.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank you so much, Hajar. Education is a means, not an end. This is a hook, Asma. It helps citizens to be aware of what happens around them. That's an explanation for being an awareness, being an informed citizen here. Around them, get paid job. That's good. The first line here is a hook. Just remove it. I can define the education that kind of acquired of knowledge, apply this knowledge. That's so important. Maha, this is again a definition for education. So a definition can be a hook, not a thesis. Good education can give our a life a respected position among other countries. It is the main reason for success and progress. Okay, that's a good one. You know what? What I'm gonna do now, I'll just avoid. I'll just skip the education ones because we want to go and focus on the bowling. I'm sorry for those whom I can't read um, their sentences, and please make sure you have one make sure you have one sentence only, just to give a chance for others. Yes, please. You thanks so much. Okay, good deduction can give our good education here can give our country. We'll avoid the education ones. I think running is a sport that can be practiced at any age. Running. Okay, Abdul Majid. That's a good one. Okay, but we're talking about bowling, my friend here. So can be practiced any age, any time. It doesn't need expensive equipment to do. That's perfect. Education is the basic will. Well, sorry, we'll just avoid these. Please, Mr. Muhammad, could you send the papers PDF? I can send these. That's okay. Education is important from the beginning. Education would be just avoid it. I'm sorry about that. Bowling sport is open for ages, non-specific time. Moreover, needs simple equipment. It needs simple equipment. That's a good one. We just need to, proofread it. Bowling is one of the most interesting sports which can be played by many kinds of people in any time and without any complex equipment. That's a good one, Shema. And complex is not expensive again. Bowling is an intelligent sport, which helps you concentrate in your direction and work in the team, and it helps you know how to work in groups and accept opinions and ideas from others. Cooperation. That's perfect. That's perfect, Dua. But this is not our thesis. Our thesis is focused here on why bowling is for everybody. It's for everybody because anyone can play it at any time and without paying a lot of money. Okay, how can we live without being educated? That's a very hard question, Imani. If you want to play sport which is suitable to whatever age, that could be played at any time and doesn't require an expensive, you absolutely should try bowling. That's a good one because now you reversed it. So you mentioned the reasons first, and then you told us what is the sport. That's very good. Do you think education affects our life remarkably? Yeah, of course. Are these okay? Yeah, this can be a hook, Amen. That's perfect hook. Please, could you I'll send the PowerPoint. Bowling is an interesting sport, but needs a lot of practice. Yeah, Zaki, this defeats the purpose because here we wanted to convince people that it's for everybody. Bowling is an interesting sport that can be suitable for all ages at any time. It doesn't need costly equipment or specific training. That's perfect. Bowling is an interesting sport which everyone can play easily anytime, and it is not expensive to play. That's a good one, Sarah. Perfect. Mr. Atif, you still have your hand up. If you wanted to say something, go ahead. Mr. Atif? Okay. So because I think we ran over time. Are we? No, we still have some time. Okay. Now, these are the two topics. The topic 3 and 4, I'm sorry, topic 3 and 4 will be an assignment. I'll be sending it to you in the Telegram group. So I'd like you please to work on these and type it, and I'll make sure to respond to each of you. Um, Now, we wanted to discuss something very quick, which is errors in sentence structure. And this is something that many of us suffer from. It's because some of us, we did not get the specific training for that. Some of us, we just write quickly and we don't pay attention to these small pieces, small details. Um, so let's do this together here. We have three different types of sentence structure errors. The first type is sentence fragments, and the second type is run-ons, and the third type is comma splices. So some of us might have heard about these, some of us know already these, so we just wanted to review it for the benefit of everybody. Fragments are incomplete sentences, and very often they consist of a subject without a predicate. So in English, a sentence is made of a subject, which is the doer of the action or someone the sentence is about. So, for example, if I say Ali played tennis in the street, so Ali is the doer here. He is the person who played tennis. Or Ali is a doctor, so he's a doctor describes Ali. So Ali is the subject, and the rest of the sentence, the remaining of the sentence, is a predicate. Some sentences do not have a predicate, and that's a problem. So the child who has a rash. So a rash is a kind of, the red spots on the skin. So the child who has a rash. This is not a sentence, okay? It has a verb here, but this verb is not for this subject. This verb or this part of the sentence describes the child. So this is an incomplete sentence. I'm sorry. The second example here is, since the drugs have many side effects. This has a subject. Drugs have many side effects, okay? But still the meaning is incomplete because of the word since. We can't understand the whole meaning, okay? Uh, let's take a look at now how to correct these fragments. So how to correct it? The child who has a rash. There is one way to correct it, which is you can remove the word who, and then the sentence will be the child has a rash. Okay. The second type, or the second fix here, is that you can add a predicate, add a part of the sentence that completes the meaning. So the child who has a rash, what happened to him? Was just diagnosed with measles. So this is the predicate, was just diagnosed with measles. This gives me complete information. It adds meaning to what happens to this child or describe this child. The second fragment here is, since the drugs have many side effects, we can fix it by just removing the word since. We just say drugs have, or the drugs have many side effects. And this is a complete meaning here. Or we can add an independent clause to complete the meaning. Since the drugs has many side effects, comma, this is a dependent clause, and a dependent clause is a clause or a sentence that cannot stand by itself because it doesn't have a complete meaning. In order to complete it, we want to add an independent clause which completes the meaning of this sentence. So the patient should be monitored. Since the drugs have many side effects, the patient should be monitored. Okay? Is there any question about these? Because we'll be having some exercises soon. We have here what makes bowling a real exceptional kind of sport. It's availability for any number of people, any age, and lowest cost for practice. That's a good one, extra. Bowling is a kind of sport that maybe, in my opinion, go out negative energy. Yeah, it releases negative energy, that's right. But we just wanted to focus on the supporting points. Can I say the child? I think we say my child, not the child. Okay, so Hannah, if you're talking about the child has a rash, okay, here in this one, we're just fixing it. So we can just remove the child has a, you can say the child has a rash if you know which child I'm talking about. So I can say that I saw a child in the hospital, and then later on I'll tell you the child has a rash. So that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly correct. Please make sure you're muted, guys. There is a video because we don't have enough time. I'll just skip it. Okay. Can I say the child? Yeah, you can say that child. That's perfectly right. The child has a rash. That's perfectly correct sentence. Can we say with both without which? Can we say the with plural without which? Okay. Can you unmute yourself and explain it, Hannah? Okay. Um,
I
Go ahead.
I think we can't use the with plural nouns unless it's followed by who or which. Okay, to define it, right? As
Mhm.
a grammar point.
Okay. So again, if you're talking grammatically, that children, okay, are playing in the street. That's correct. And the meaning is correct. The children are playing in the street. There is no problem with that. Okay. But it should be in a specific context. So if I just talk to you and I say, the children are playing in the street, you wouldn't be able to understand which children. You would say, oh, which children? But if you know that we talked about specific children, and now I'm just talking or mentioning something about them, then this would be perfectly
Yes,
correct.
I mean this. I mean that we should define or talk about which is children or which drugs we are talking about. This is the point.
Perfect. That's absolutely correct. These sentences here are cut off of the context just to show a specific problem with the sentence. So here we will be focusing on the problem here is with the word who more than the problem with that. Okay. So if we say the child has a rash, if you know that I'm talking about a specific child, that's correct. Okay. If you wanted to focus on that, then you would give the sentence, the child has a rash. What's the problem with this sentence? Then students might say, yeah, the child, we don't know which child. Is it the young child or the old child? In this case, now you're focusing on that. I just would like to mention this quickly. I guess that most of us are teachers here, so uh, grammar and changing sentences, you can, and this is something that is approved. It's called scaffolding. So you can mention a sentence that has a less accurate meaning, but you wanted to focus on a specific point in this sentence, like this one here. The child has a rash. Okay, um, the child who has a rash. My focus here is on the word who because this confuses the meaning. If I remove it, then the meaning would be okay. Okay. In another context, I would say the child has a rash. Hey guys, what's the problem with that? Could you please take a look and tell me? Then they would be focusing more on, yeah, the verb is okay, the subject and the verb are agreeing, a rash is okay, this is the name of a disease, that's okay. Oh, the problem with the word child, I don't know which child. Okay, thank you so much, Hannah. Now, we fixed these, and let's move to the second type of sentence error, which is run-on sentences. So run-ons are two independent clauses or two complete sentences, which are not joined in a grammatically correct manner. An example here, the doctor performed the operation, the patient died. So we have two sentences. The doctor performed the operation, this is one, and we have another sentence, the patient died. And they are running into each other. That's why there is a problem here. This is a run-on sentence. And this happens because of sometimes people just forget to put it at a full stop here, or just they forget to add a linking word here, and this is normal. People think and write, think and write, think and write. Now you need to go and proofread what you've written. Then you would be able to see the problems and you would be able to change or adjust them. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, scaffolding, Huwaida, is you just um, build up the knowledge. So you can give, let's say that I want to teach my students how to write an essay. So an essay is made of paragraphs, and each paragraph is made of specific types of sentences. So the introduction has hooks, background information, thesis statement. while in the body paragraph we have topic sentences, which and then detailed sentences, transitioning sentences. When I'm explaining the topic, when I'm explaining the introduction, I might write, if I'm focusing on the hook, I might write not accurate background information and thesis, because I'm focusing here on the hook. This is the point that I wanted to highlight. Okay, then I move to the background information. I might write any hook, okay, just to fill in this space. Then they know that I'm building up on that. They learned how to write a good hook. Now we're focusing on how to write a background information. Then we are moving to thesis, okay. That now we're building up. Another example, if I'm teaching speaking and I have students in elementary level, and we wanted to teach them how to go and buy something in the store, okay? So basically they would say, hi, how are you today? I am good. How much is this cup? It's $5. Here you are. Thank you. That's it, right? So they learned that. If they are higher level, if I wanted to scaffold them to an intermediate level, so what I would say, I would add more information to that, okay, to build on their old or previous knowledge. So I will add, now you did a good job. I'll tell my students, you did a good job. You went there and you asked how are they, and you asked about the price. I'd like you to ask if they have any different types, or if they have different types of mugs or colors of mugs. Then they would say, oh, how can I do that? Then I introduce, you can ask, what types of mugs do you have, or is there any other colors you have? You're building on the knowledge. This is basically what's scaffolding. And there are books, I can share some books with you on techniques of how to do scaffolding and build more on the knowledge. But the patient died.
Can I?
Huwaida, go ahead.
Okay, so I guess that scaffolding might be like when I go up to the steps of a ladder or something like this. When I go as if I am going to the upper floor and then to the third floor and then to the fourth floor, as if I am building on the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. Scaffold is a word that is taken from, the structure that you build in the beginning in order to fix the walls around and then put the ceiling on top. This is scaffolds ده بنقولها بالعربي السقالات اللي احنا بنبني عليها بعد كده الحيطان ونحط عليها السقف. لو انتوا عندكم بنيتوا بيت او بتشوفوا حد بيبني بيت، بيبني الحيطان الاول، بعدين بيحط خشب ويعمل روف عشان يحط بعد كده فوقيه السمنس ويحط فوقيه السيلينج. فده اسمه scaffold. فهو ده اللي احنا بنعمله مع الستودنتس بالظبط. You're most welcome. Okay, so let's get back to run-on sentences. So basically there are two sentences. They are complete sentences and they are running into each other. Okay, comma splice is another mistake, and it happens when we have two independent clauses or two complete sentences and they are joined by a comma, and this is a mistake. Okay, and for example here, the doctor performed the operation, comma, the patient died. I'll give you a chance to watch this video because there are more examples and this would be helpful for all of us.
A bit about a couple of really common mistakes in writing that students often make, which are run-on sentences and comma splices. Okay, so the first one, the run-on sentence, simply means when you put two or more independent clauses in one sentence without the proper punctuation. In fact, usually with no punctuation at all. If you look at these two examples, Amanda has a good job, she never has to worry about money. And from the second story came a cry for help, firefighters rushed into the burning building. Now those are run-on sentences because you have two complete ideas and no punctuation. So in order to fix that, you have to insert either a comma and a coordinating conjunction or a semicolon. Okay, so let's take a look at some revised versions. Amanda has a good job, so she never has to worry about money. Or, with just a semicolon, Amanda has a good job, she never has to worry about money. And the second sentence, from the second story came a cry for help, and firefighters rushed into the burning building. Now the second mistake is called a comma splice, and that simply means when a student connects two independent clauses together with just a comma, which is not possible grammatically. Okay, let's look at an example of a comma splice. The fans in the soccer stadium pushed forward, people began to panic. Now because this is two complete ideas, with that comma you need a coordinating conjunction to link those two ideas. Or, like the run-on sentences, you can simply connect them with a semicolon. Now let's look at a fixed version of that. The fans in the soccer stadium pushed forward and people began to panic. Okay, now one more example of a comma splice. He missed the final exam, therefore he could not complete the course. Now be careful when you're using a conjunctive adverb like therefore, however, as a result. If you're using that, you cannot connect the two ideas with just a comma. You have to use a semicolon, like this example. He missed the final exam, semicolon, therefore he could not complete the course. So when you're proofreading your writing, keep an eye out for run-on sentences and comma splices. And if you want to do a little bit of practice with these, follow the link at the end of this video.
And I suggest you guys watch Smart. It's a channel on YouTube, so you can watch it and get more info on grammar and sentence structure. Okay. Yes, you can hear it. Awesome, love that. Thanks, Huwaida. I'm happy you liked it. So that's, I will send the link. Absolutely, sure. Okay, so if you are unmuted, please mute yourself, please. Okay, Naha, Samir here. Okay, that's it. Now, let's do a kind of quick practice for that. Now, how to correct these sentences? We mentioned the doctor performed the operation, the patient died. We can use a conjunction here, which is after. After the doctor performed the operation, the patient died, or the doctor performed the operation and the patient died, or but the patient died. The second fix is we can use semicolon here. So the doctor performed the operation, the patient died. A semicolon is used instead of any of the fanboys. So if you don't want to use for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so, we can use a semicolon. And we understand that the semicolon is acting as one of these. If you wanted to use one of them, you can just use a comma and then one of the fanboys. So you could say the doctor performed the operation, comma, but the patient died, or and the patient died, depending on the meaning you wanted to use or to express. Here, I don't want to use any of the fanboys, so I would use a comma instead. So the doctor performed the operation, the patient died. Another fix here is that you just split them out. So the doctor performed the operation, full stop, the patient died. It's some practice after this slide. So the doctor performed the operation, the patient died. We have mentioned this already. This is another one. So here is the exercise. Indicate if the sentence is A, correct, B, run-on, or C, comma splice, or D, fragment. I'd like you to just type, is it correct, or run-on, or comma splice, or fragment in the chat box. We're looking at number 1 now. So Mrs. Blanco gone to visit her mom or her mother at the hospital. Is this sentence correct? Is it run-on sentence? Is it comma splice? Or is it a fragment? Just type in the chat box, please. Okay, a couple people said correct. Yeah, okay. I'd like you to focus. No, correct. Okay. Mrs. Blanco gone to visit her mother at the hospital. Is there a problem with the verb here? Can we say Mrs. Blanco gone, or we should say Mrs. Blanco has gone to visit her mother in the hospital. That's perfect. Or went. We can say has gone or went. That's perfect. In this case, this sentence, number one, is a fragment. And there is a problem with the verb. Okay? We want to change the verb into went or has gone. That's perfect. Now, let's move to number two. Finding a parking spot there is usually easy during the week. Is this correct? Run-on, comma splice, or fragment? Number two. Some people say correct, some people say wrong. Finding, okay, run-on, fragment. So let's take a look at finding a parking space there. Finding a parking space there. This is a subject. Finding the parking space there is usually easy during the week. So number two is correct because finding a parking space there, this is the subject of the sentence. We can start by finding, by verb ing, and this will act as a noun, okay? And this will be the subject of the sentence. Finding a parking space there is usually easy during the weekend. Okay, so we and complete with another comma. So Fatma, you mentioned something. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. So driving in the city during the evening rush hour. Is this a sentence,
Sorry,
fragment, run sentence? Yeah, go ahead, Fatma.
uh, sorry, I didn't read the complete sentence.
Hmm.
But if we say Mrs. Blanco, comma, gone to visit her mother at the hospital, we need to complete with another sentence.
That's perfect.
We will put comma
Mm-hmm.
before gone and the comma after hospital and complete with another sentence.
That's perfect,
This
Fatma.
is my
And
point.
what do we call gone to visit her mother in the hospital in this sentence you're talking about?
If we put another sentence after at the hospital,
Mhm.
I think gone here would be used as adjective or to describe language.
Yeah, this will be an adjective phrase, an adjective clause. Okay, and it was an adjective phrase because it was originally a relative clause, which is who has gone to the hospital, who has gone to visit her mom in
Yes,
to the hospital. That
this is
that's
my point. But I didn't
perfect.
realize that we don't have another sentence here.
That's
So
that's absolutely okay.
we can't use comma here because am I clear or what?
Yeah, you're clear. I got your point 100%.
You get?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you so
Okay,
much. Yeah,
okay, thanks.
thanks, Fatma. So number three, moving to driving in the city. This is a fragment, and I see everybody written a fragment here. And how can we fix it? Can you fix it here? Can you fix it for us? Type the answer, please, for number three, driving in the city during the evening rush hour. How can we fix it? It's dangerous. That's right. It's so exhausted. Yeah, if you're talking about yourself, you'd say exhausted. But if you're talking about the situation, you would say exhausting. Is very difficult. Come up with a predicate. That's perfect. Is exhausting. That's perfect. That's perfect, guys. You've done a great job. Now let's move to number four. Number four says Tony shook his new boss's hand. He knew he would like working there. What is this sentence? Perfect. Comma splice. Dwight said comma splice. And your answers are great. All of them are correct. Exhausting is real, laugh, and terrible, terrible. Okay, difficult. Comma splice. That's comma splice. How can we fix it? How can we fix it? Tony shook his new boss's hand. He knew he would like working there. would like working, would like working to work there. That's perfect. That's okay. That's not the focus. The focus here. Remember, it's scaffolding. We're focusing on. Okay, I'm sorry. We're focusing on the problem here. Although Tony, no, Mina. Okay, we can use semicolon. I'm sorry, I missed some of the answers here. We can use semicolon. We can use and Mina said, although Tony, no. Although Tony, no, he would like working there. He shook his hands. Yeah. Where can you see there is a contrast here or a contradiction between the two sentences, Mina? Because usually, although is used when we are focusing on a contrast between two sentences. If you can type your answer, fine. If you wanted to speak up, you can unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yes, dear.
Yeah, go ahead, Mina.
Okay, I think although Tony knew he would like working there,
Mm-hmm.
he shook his new boss's hand.
Yeah, but here, if I shake your hand, does this mean that
Yeah,
it's
no,
a good sign or a bad sign?
yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah, in this
Okay,
case, yeah, it wouldn't be helpful to add although here, because although would mean that he wouldn't like that.
yeah. I didn't think shock. I think it's shock. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
that's fine. That's fine. That's
Yeah.
okay. All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Mina.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thanks. So number 5, he enjoys walking. So let's go again to and because he shook his hands because I don't shake my boss's hand because I think I like it. Okay, Asma. So as and because are very similar, right? Um, I don't think we shake hands because we know we would like it. It's professional attitude when you go like to office, you shake hands, and then you know this is what I mean here is there is no relation between these two sentences. You could say and or just put a full stop maybe. Could you please explain again what is a comma splice? A comma splice, Jihan, is number 4. There are two sentences. They are two complete sentences, and they are joined by a comma. And this is wrong. We can't do that. We cannot do that. Tony shook his new boss's hand. Full stop. He knew he would like working there. That's it. If I find a comma in between two complete sentences, two complete ideas, that's a mistake. All right, that's basically it. Number so he knew he liked. Yeah, I still don't see the relation between these two sentences. For me, I would put a full stop in the middle, or I would put semicolon. Best case scenario. Um, Moving to number 5 here. He enjoys walking through the country. He often goes backpacking on his vacations. What kind of sentence is that? This is a run-on. Perfect. Perfect. Extra. That's right. You can add any of these. Comma splice. How can we? Number 5 is a run-on sentence because we don't have a comma. Comma splice is number 4 because we have a comma here. That's the mistake. But for this one, it's a run-on sentence because we don't have a comma. They are two complete sentences and they are running into each other. We can fix it by adding um, moreover. Moreover, you would be able to use moreover, but you would need to have a semicolon before it and a comma after it. Or you would uh, use moreover in the second sentence. You would say he enjoys walking through the country. Full stop. Moreover, comma, he often goes backpacking and on vacation. You could also use and. That's perfect. That's perfect. Full stop before it. Perfect. And moreover, semicolon, full stop. That's right. But they are not equal. Okay. Furthermore, you can do that. Absolutely. Now let's move to the next slide. We have some more questions here. After getting estimates from 5 contractors, she decided to do the work herself. Sentence number one, is it a complete sentence, run-on sentence, fragment, or comma splice? Okay, the word estimate here, you know, when you wanted to do something in your apartment, you, let's say I have a tap to fix, and I wanted a plumber to come and fix it. So I will call plumbers, and they will come and say, hey, this will cost you $20. Another plumber would come and say, hey, this will cost you $15. Now I'm getting estimates. Okay, so here in this sentence, she got estimates for doing something, for example, in her house, but she found it's a lot of money, so she decided to do it herself. So estimates is okay to get estimates this way. And this is a complete sentence, correct sentence. Yeah. This is not a comma splice because after getting estimates from 5 contractors, this is a dependent clause. A dependent clause is a clause or a sentence that cannot stand by itself because it doesn't have complete meaning. So after getting estimates from 5 contractors, if I just said that, you would wonder, yeah, what happened after that, right? In order to complete it, we use an independent clause, which is she decided to do the work herself. And that's the reason why this is a correct sentence, as all of you mentioned here. Number one is correct. There is no comma splices in number one because there are two types of sentences. The first sentence is a dependent sentence. The second sentence is an independent sentence. If we use a dependent sentence in the beginning, you use a comma after it. If we reverse it and we use the independent comma in the independent sentence in the beginning, we wouldn't need to use a comma. So we would say, she decided to do the work herself after getting estimates from 5 contractors. So number one is totally correct. Now, let's move to number two. To avoid hitting the other car, Michael had to back across the corner of the lawn. Number two, is it? Perfect. I could see your answers. You're doing a great job. That's a completely correct sentence. So here, two acts as because. Because he wanted to avoid hitting the other car, Michael had to back across the corner of the lawn. That's perfect. So number two is correct. What about number three? Because Manuel was sure he had heard the same strange story many months ago. Jihan, that's correct. That's dependent. That's a fragment. We call it fragment. We call it dependent because it doesn't have a complete meaning. It is incomplete extra because it needs another part to to complete it. And now I'd like you to complete or to fix number three. Please fix number three for us. Type it in the chat box with as a whole sentence, as a correct sentence. Because Manuel was sure he had heard the same strange story many months ago. I like that. Decided to listen to music. That's right. Yeah, number four. Oh, we just need to finish number three. He was bored. Okay, he was bored hearing it again. He couldn't believe it. He didn't help him. Okay, decided not to watch it again. That's perfectly fine. That's correct. He wasn't sure. He didn't care. Okay, he didn't care to hear it again. Okay, he decided not to watch the movie. He decided not to watch the movie. That's perfect. Now let's move to number four. What type of sentence is that? You stop listening to it again. Perfect. Number four is a dependent sentence. That's right. I agree with you. It's a fragment. That's right. And I'd like you to fix it, please, for me. Please fix it for me. Fix the fragment here in number 4. How can we fix it? Perfect. Number 4 is fragment. How can we fix it, please? We have to complete it by a predicate. Go ahead and do that, please. He moved to another flat. He sold it. After he went to all the trouble of fixing up his apartment, he moved to a new flat. That's perfect. He was fed up. He took some rest. Okay, that's perfect. He decided to leave it. He sold it. He moved to another flat. He sold it. Perfect. That's correct. All of these are correct. He finally fixed all. Right. He left it. Perfect, Mina. All of these answers are correct. Now let's move to number 5. They weren't dangerous criminals. They were detectives in disguise. They decided to move to 5-star hotel. Oh, they are rolling in dough. They have a lot of money then. Okay, correct. Number 5 is correct. I'm not sure. Think again. What type of sentence is number 5? Is it correct sentence, fragment, run-on, or comma splice? Jihan says comma splice. That's correct. That's correct. Splice, comma splice. Incorrect, comma splice. That's perfect. How can we fix that? How can we fix number 5? Type it, please, in the answer. We add semicolon. Perfect. We can do that. We were in dangerous criminals. They were detectives in disguise, and this can act as but. Put a semicolon first, second instead. Can you explain first, second instead extra, please? However, you could do that. However, that's correct. However, they were disguised. They were detectives in disguise. That's perfectly correct. Use a semicolon, Mina. That's correct. Semicolon. That's correct. Full stop in the middle. That's correct. But in the middle. Okay, that's absolutely correct. I just wanted to know what is first, second, and instead. If you don't mind, extra here. But is absolutely correct. And but should be preceded by a comma. You have to have a comma and then but and then the second sentence. Don't forget, this comma before but is very, very important. That's right. In contrast. Yeah, in contrast, in this case, we would have to stop to put a full stop, and then we write in contrast, comma, and then a new sentence. On the other hand. Okay, that's correct. We can also use on the other hand, a comma and then a new sentence. Perfect. You did a great job, and we took almost 2 hours now, I guess. So we will have last 10 minutes for questions. If you have any question, you can go ahead and ask it. And the rest of the stuff we talked about today, we can share it in the Telegram. Okay, they weren't dangerous criminals. They were detectives instead. Okay. Okay, extra. Now, the first sentence here, they weren't dangerous criminals. Did you put a full stop? Because I could see there is a full stop, right? If there is a full stop, that's perfectly fine. Because now you splitted them out. If there is no full stop, then they are still running into each other. Could you please share the previous videos and PowerPoint as well as this one, if that's okay? That's more than okay. I will share these in Telegram. Thank you, Mina. You are awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. If you have any question, please type it. If you wanted to speak up, I would love to hear your voices. Just raise your hand and then we can talk. We have 10 minutes to chat. If you have any question, go ahead. Thanks a bunch. Thanks a lot. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming and attending the class. I really liked and enjoyed it. You did a great job. Thank you. Many thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. You are amazing. You are amazing, Shema. Thank you. Many thanks, Muhammad. Thank you so much. Thanks a million. Thank you. When is our next meeting? Our next meeting will be the same time. It's next week, Thursday. 8 o'clock. I'll try to push it a little bit. If I pushed it, if I changed my schedule, I'll let you know. If not, it will be 8 o'clock. You can join and come. If you find it's difficult to attend and you had to do something in the middle, you can go back and do it and come back again. You don't need to leave the meeting. Just mute yourself. Okay, so great job. Thank you so much. Really, you are amazing. You are amazing group. Thank you so much. Thanks for dedication and enthusiasm. You are dedicated and enthusiastic, Huwaida. Thank you so much. Please summarize what you say before. Absolutely. So, looking at what we have studied today, I'll summarize it in a minute. Just give me a second. Did you assign any homework? I'll assign the homework in the Telegram group, and I'd be happy if I see your comments and feedback and answers in the Telegram group, because I noticed that a couple of people who are more active, so I appreciate if everybody is working and responding to the messages. Just say, yeah, I got it, thanks, copy it, that's it. I understand that you see my message. Really, this is the first time I attend. Really, it's amazing. You are amazing. Thank you, Maha. I want to know where tasks 1 to 4. I can post these in the Telegram group, of course. Just remind me with a text message in the Telegram group. So it will be at 9 every Thursday. I think it's 8. It's 3 o'clock p.m. here. So I think there is 7 hours difference. So I think we started at 7 and we ended at 10. So the class starts at 8. What is the task for today? I'll post everything in the Telegram. I'll post the link of the video, the link of the old videos. I'll post the presentations and the tasks, and just keep answering questions in the chat in the Telegram. Can I have a Telegram link, guys? Yeah. Whoever gave you this link, the video, the Zoom link, can give you the Telegram link, of course. I don't have it on me now, but if you can wait, I can post it later.
Pardon me, Mr. Muhammad.
Yeah, Mr. Idil, can you speak up? I can't hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna give him a better hand in such area, inshallah. But I just want you to fix up timing, please, Mr. Muhammad.
Yeah, we said 8 o'clock Thursday. That's fixed. 8 o'clock Thursday.
Pardon me, I was out for a while. I was helping attendees to TBM. Pardon me for that.
No problem at all. Thank you, Mr. Idil.
Mr. Muhammad, you're most welcome. Yes.
Thank you. So if you can, Mr. Idil, if you can shoot the Telegram group link in the chat box, because Huwaida.
Okay.
Yeah, Huwaida want.
Inshallah. Yes, I'm going to do that. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So.
Okay.
Yeah, for the answers, Hannah. Thank you, Mr. Red. I'm sorry for because I was looking at the answer. So for the answers, Hannah, you could do either. You can, if you wanted to post it in public, you can do that. If you wanted to BM me personally, message me, I will be okay with that as well. You can do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Rodwan, could you please make yourself mute? Yeah, please. Thank you. Okay, so Saudi 9, I think. Yeah, we have students in Saudi. It's 9 o'clock in Saudi. We have students in Istanbul in Turkey. So they are 9 o'clock in Istanbul too, and 8 o'clock in Saudi Arabia, and yeah, it's 7 hours difference. Is there any advice for us to improve myself in writing? Just attend the class and then do the assignments. And if you have any question, don't be afraid to ask it. Ask any question anytime. Yeah, read, don't sweat the small stuff. It's kind of advanced, but you will benefit from it. And it's a very short, like 1 page, and then you're done with the essay, or 2 pages maximum. I'll post the name. It's 8 o'clock in Egypt. That's correct. It's now we're done, Nina. So it's almost the end of the class. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Huwaida. How many sessions are there in right course? I'm planning to do 10 sessions to cover that, and then inshallah we might think of doing something more advanced and this will be, inshallah, in the future. Well, we just make sure that this is established first. Thank you so much. Here is the group. It is sent to me. Okay. Huwaida, whoever wanted the Telegram group, could you please personally message me, and I can text it to you right away. Yeah, Jihan, you're from Saudi. Yeah, we have.
Pardon me, I already did. I already did.
You sent it to everybody, Mr. Reda?
Yes, Mr. Muhammad, yes.
Okay,
I
so
checked the message. Yes.
that's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. That you are amazing. This session is number 4. So there are 3 sessions before. I can send you the links. You can watch them. Your reading recommendations. Type it. I will type it. Yeah, sure. So the book is called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and there are 8 books. Okay, and you can pick any. I would think you can start by don't sweat the small stuff for women. Don't sweat the small stuff for family. Don't sweat the small stuff for, depends on what interests you. And then you can get some of these. The masterpiece is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff in Money, and he started writing after that. So this is one of the books. You can read anything and everything, but if you wanted to benefit from what you're reading, this is a good suggestion, I think.